Alright, welcome to this video. We're gonna test a MacBook Air with the M1 chip, and this is the basic version, as you can see. It's just got the 8 gigabytes of RAM and 7 GPU cores, and I'm gonna try out the thermal mod, which you can find many tutorials on the internet on how to do that, and I would like to see if there's any extra FPS on gaming with the thermal mod. So just to give you an idea of which thermal pad I put into this MacBook, it's a really cheap one, and I wanted to try out if even that gives me any extra FPS maybe. So first test is with Geekbench. We're gonna test the CPU. On the right side you can see the modded Mac, and on the left side the one with no mod. And I'm gonna let that run through, and as you can see we just got an increase of 1.2% for the multi-core. So next up is first GPU test. And we got an increase of 2.1%, so that is a little bit better. And lastly, the metal. And in the beginning I closed Safari there, so this might have an effect on the result. As you can see, it got a little bit lower. So next up is League of Legends. And I've extended the FPS counter so that you can see the result better. And you can see in the upper right corner that's the one of the not modded MacBook, and bottom left corner is the modded one. And I have to say that I can't really sense much of a difference there. Both are basically the same. Sometimes the one with no mod is higher, sometimes the modded one. Maybe you need to play it for at least half an hour to see any other results. But so far there's not really like a difference that you could tell one is modded and the other one isn't. So just gonna let that run a bit, and you can also see in the end that I keep the modded gameplay running for a little bit, so that you can see that gaming is absolutely possible on the M1 MacBook, as you might already know, at least for simpler games like League of Legends, and I have another game that will be tested in the next chapter. Okay, so next up is Left 4 Dead 2, and we're gonna see if there's any improve of the modded MacBook. So far it wasn't that heavy, but maybe it's also because I took the really cheap thermal pads, so with better ones you will definitely get better result. But my opinion was that maybe because some people are thinking about it getting too hot and maybe burning yourself, that with one that doesn't transfer the heat as good, there might not be that issue. But anyway, let's take a look into the intro screen, and as we can see, we got definitely some improvement with the modded MacBook. We got 10, sometimes 20 FPS more, so that definitely is really good improvement. I'm not sure how that will stay on the actual gameplay, but maybe just take a look yourself, and I say goodbye for now. And I think it depends on what you're doing with the MacBook, and for some games there might not be any difference with the FPS, but at least for this Left 4 Dead game there's some good improvement. So I can recommend doing the mod, and maybe take a better thermal pad than I did, because then it might get even more increase. And if you did mod your MacBook with a better thermal pad than I did, and you have this game, then maybe try it out. Would interest me a lot on what FPS you can get with it. Alright, so that's it, and goodbye.